IR35 and driver employment status, what every UK transport business owner needs to know. If you use self-employed drivers in your transport business, HMRC may not agree with your assessment. Driver employment status is one of the most scrutinized areas in the UK transport right now, and getting it wrong can mean significant back tax, national insurance, and penalties. Here's what you need to know and how to protect yourself. Hi, I'm Agnieszka and most people call me Agnes. I'm the founder of Demand Accounting Services Limited, a cloud-based bookkeeping practice that works exclusively with transport, logistics and freight businesses across the UK. I'm ACC qualified, I hold CPC Transport Manager qualification, and I spent over a decade in corporate finance before starting this business, including several years working inside a freight forwarding company. So I'm not just a number person, I genuinely understand how your business works. On this channel, I share practical, straight-talking advice on bookkeeping, tax and finances, specifically for people running transport and haulage businesses in the UK. No jargon, no waffle, just the stuff you actually need to know. If that sounds useful, hit subscribe and let's go into today's video. In the UK, workers fall into one of the three categories: employee, worker, or genuinely self-employed. For tax purposes, the distinction matters enormously, as employee must be on your payroll. You'll deduct income tax and national insurance through PAYE. You also pay employers national insurance on top. A genuinely self-employed person is responsible for their own tax and national insurance. You pay them gross, they sort their own tax return. The problem is that a lot of transport business treat drivers as self-employed when HMRC would consider them employees. If HMRC reclassifies your drivers, you become liable for all the PAYE and national insurance that should have been deducted, potentially going back years. HMRC doesn't just take your word for it that someone is self-employed. They apply tests, and here are the three main ones. Test number one, control. Does the driver decide how, when, and where they work, or do you dictate the hours, routes, or methods? If you're telling a driver when to start, which routes he take, and what they wear, that looks like employment. Test two, substitution. Can the driver send someone else to do their job? A genuinely self-employed person can substitute. If the driver must personally carry out every job themselves, that points towards employment. Test 3, mutuality of obligation. Do you have to offer work? And does the driver have to accept it? If you regularly offer work and the driver regularly takes it with no real option to say no, HMRC may see that as an employment relationship. IR35, also called as off-payroll working rules, was originally designed for contractors working through limited companies. If a driver operates through their own limited company, but works exclusively or mainly for you, and would pass the employment test I just described, IR35 may apply. Since April 2021, medium and large companies became responsible for determining IR35 status for contractors working through their own companies. For most small transport businesses, the immediate risk isn't IR35 directly. It's the broader employment status question. Are you self-employed drivers, genuinely self-employed under UK law? A legitimately self-employed owner-driver typically owns or leases their own vehicle, holds their own transport operator's license, works for multiple clients, not just you, controls their own working hours and routes, can send a substitute if they can't complete the job, invoices you for work done, and bears their own financial risk. If the drivers you're calling self-employed doesn't meet most of those criteria, you have an employment status risk. This doesn't mean you've done anything wrong deliberately, but a lot of transport businesses inherited arrangements that were never properly structured. But it does mean you should review it now, before HMRC does it for you. And if these rules still confuse you and you need the help of a professional, you can always book a discovery call with me through my website at masltd.net. And it's only one click away, free, no obligation consultation. And I'll see you on the next video.